everyone. Jamie Maloney, your host of the all-new That Business Show 2.0, where business becomes show business. You're listening to the Real Estate Edition, our weekly feature every Thursday at 7 a.m., where we talk real estate, which is my profession for coming up on the last, actually 11 years, and just shy of 10 years at Coldwell Banker. So here in 3 days will be my 10-year anniversary at Coldwell Banker, where it really all began. I started in real estate back in 2006, 2007, but really didn't get kicked off in real estate until I found Coldwell Banker in 2000. And yeah, it was April 23rd, 2007 was my hire date. And I spent a year prior to that at a couple different brokerages while finishing up my degree at USF, and then went on to sell now some 1,600 homes, coming off of just one sale prior to going to Coldwell Banker. So Coldwell Banker has been a great brokerage here in the Tampa Bay region, of course, a nationally and internationally recognized brand with over 100 years of brand building behind it. Started again like over 100 years ago by the two founders whose last names were both Coldwell and Banker, and so a great brand to work for. The leading brokerage in our community in Tampa Bay. It is a step above all the other brokerages in the area in terms of volume sold, listings, number of realtors in the area. And so I'm just one of many leading professionals in the area at Coldwell Banker. Love to be of service to you if you're buying or selling a home. Again, a couple of different ways to get in contact with me. For one, if you're looking to sell a home anywhere in the country, again, if you're in Tampa Bay, I can help you out. If you're anywhere else in the continental United States or even Hawaii or Alaska, we can get you a realtor through our vast relocation and referral network. Simply go to thathomevaluation.com and we'll get you over a free home valuation. And if you're looking to sell a home, simply go to thathomesearch.com, and you can learn more about me and my experience and awards and extensive sale history by going to jamiemaloney.com. That's the website dedicated strictly now to my real estate business. And you can find me all across the different real estate profile sites such as Zillow and Trulia, Zillow being a leading site for real estate. A lot of information on there, and also uploading out the weekly episodes of That Business Show 2.0, the Real Estate Edition, to the video upload on that page. So getting more exposure for the Real Estate Edition. Also, we have a Facebook page, Jamie Maloney Real Estate, so I'd appreciate it if you would stop over there and help that page grow, around 800 likes or so. So I started promoting that page here the last few weeks. So we put all real estate related shows and topics up on that page. And so this show goes there on demand after the airing of the program each Thursday. And then anytime I have a guest in the in studio or on the phone line, we will put those shows up as well. So a lot of good information over on the Facebook page, simply titled Jamie Maloney Real Estate. So today I thought I would talk a little bit about what's going on in the markets in terms of the numbers. Each month I pull all the different statistics from Hillsborough, Pinellas, Pasco, Polk counties. Those are the primary Tampa Bay counties that I service, and kind of take a look at what's going on in the marketplace from a statistical standpoint. And you'll see I've got those up there on the screen, and I'm kind of go through those with you so you can kind of get a feel for what's going on in the market. It's pretty much understood that across the country that all the inventory in the marketplace is very, very low. There's not too many markets out there that are saturated inventory, and Tampa Bay being no exception. And our median price point of our homes, the sweet spot, is about 150 to 200 for the first-time buyers. And as you can see in Hillsborough County up there on the screen, up to 150,000, we've got about 284 homes available for sale. And then in the last 6 months, we've closed just under 1,100 homes. Up to $300,000, again, 150,000 to 300,000, which is, as you can see from the numbers, the more the meat of the curve. That's about 1,700 homes available for sale in Hillsborough County, and about 4,500 or over 4,500 have sold here in the past 6 months. So what is that in terms of months of supply? That is a key indicator that will kind of give you the feel for the marketplace. In terms of months of supply, up to 150,000, we're at 1.56 months of supply is indicated right there. And then in the next category right there, we're down to 2.25 months of supply. A healthy market should be around 6 months of supply of inventory. Now, take a look down here. This is the distressed inventory down at the bottom. Short sales is what SS stands for. Short sales is a percentage of available inventory at a record low in our area, 1.8%. And short sales as a percentage of closed sales, just at 2.66%. So very low. Just about 3 or 4 years ago, short sales were a dominant point in the marketplace, and a lot of that began to change in 2012, which was the bottom of our market. So since 2012, values have come up, buyers have come into the marketplace and taken up a lot of that short sale distressed inventory, turned it into rental housing. And again, as you can see, there's not a lot of people upside down, but that's predicted to change here in the next a few years. But you hear a lot of speculation and things on the marketplace, and so we won't know until it actually happens. Foreclosures as a percentage of available inventory coming in at 2.83%, and as a percentage of closed sales, 6.94%. And so for anybody that tells you there's a lot of foreclosures and short sales on the marketplace, in Hillsborough County, there's not, and across the Tampa Bay, there is not. So and also in terms of what's on the market in inventory right now, there's 74 homes on the market that are short sales, and foreclosures, there are 116. Homes that have sold in the last 30 days roughly are at 211 short sales, 551 REOs. And then you also see our average days on the market there, about 100 days for short sales, 48 for REOs. And that's actually very low. Short sales a few years ago were averaging, over 200 days on the marketplace because they required the approval of the mortgagee to release the lien and agree to a short payoff on the loan, and that was a very time-consuming process. And a lot of buyers and realtors got frustrated through the process, and a lot of them didn't end up closing as a result of that. Foreclosures generally move much quicker. They are owned by the foreclosing entity at that time. So when you buy a foreclosed property, in terms of selling, it's no different than buying any other home. You're dealing with the bank as the seller. You go to contract, and then you go to close, and it should be able to close within 30 days with the caveat of a potential title issue, which is very common on a foreclosure. So I always like to advise people who are buying foreclosed properties, number one, the condition of the property is always suspect. Get a home inspection to fully ensure that the property meets your conditional standards. But also the potential for title problems is always prevalent on REO properties because of the legal process that happens when a borrower goes into foreclosure. They oftentimes have multiple mortgages on the property. Sometimes you have ownership disputes, and then you have other situations that arise that complicate the process, such as bankruptcy, such as divorce, such as heirs in the event of a probate. And so a lot of things can happen to delay the foreclosure process. I'm not saying the foreclosure process, the closing of a foreclosure. So I always advise buyers when they're buying a foreclosed property, if you've got to be on, in the property on this particular date, you might want to look at another property. Definitely not a short sale. Those closings are always up in the air. Foreclosed properties, though, the potential for a title problem, you should probably wait until, or find something else, or unless you're willing to wait until the title problem can be rectified. They almost always will be rectified. Where you've got to watch, though, is when you're dealing with HUD homes and VA homes, because HUD and VA are insurance programs. And so, say Bank of America makes a loan on a property, and then they go to foreclose on the borrower. After the foreclosure is completed, they then roll the property over to the VA or HUD, depending on who the insurer was on the property. If there is a title defect that is found after it goes to the HUD or the VA, they do what's called a reconveyance, which is basically give it back to the lender and says, here, this is your problem, not ours. You need to fix that. And that happens probably at least on 10 or 20% of all the cases that I see personally come to me in terms of VA and HUD properties. And it will stop the closing process 100% and cancel the deal, because now you're no longer under contract with the HUD or the VA. They're no longer going to take ownership of the property. They're going to reconvey it. They're going to give it back to the lender that gave it to them. So it's essentially a bad insurance claim is what it is, because of some type of title defect. It does not meet the FHA or the VA requirements for an insurance claim. They do their due diligence up front to try to prevent that, but again, with title issues, those types of situations can come up down the road and are not always obvious just from doing a simple title search or acquisition of the property. So be very mindful if you're under contract to purchase a HUD property or a VA property, that the property could be under a reconveyance and you will lose that property and not be able to get that one back, because it will go back to the prior servicer, the bank that foreclosed on the property. They'll go through and fix the property and they'll put it back on the market. They may or may not send it back up to the HUD or the VA, depending on the situation. Conveying properties to the HUD and VA has gotten much more stringent and difficult than in past years because of budget cuts. They're before the last couple administrations, sending a property back to the HUD or the VA was not too difficult of a process. But nowadays, they're much more stringent on what they accept from the lenders. And so they'll eventually fix the title issue. They may sell it, in a bulk purchase at that point. They may put it back onto the marketplace. But regardless, you're going to have to recompete for that property. And that's if you're even still in the marketplace at that time. It's usually a few months before they pop back up on the marketplace after a reconveyance. So just something to be mindful of when you're buying a foreclosed property, the potential for title problems and knowing about that possible reconveyance for a HUD or a VA. If you're dealing with the banks directly, there's nobody to reconvey that to, so you're not going to be at risk for a reconveyance, but you could still be at risk for a title problem. So I'm going to take a break. Coming back from the break, we'll go through more of these numbers, also take a look at what's going on in Pinellas, Pasco, and Polk, and we'll also touch on probably some other real estate topics that spin off from this discussion on That Business Show 2.0, the Real Estate Edition, with your host, Jamie Maloney.
Hi, welcome to Yeagers. We just want to take a minute and show you what we're all about. At Yeagers, our primary business is hardwood flooring, although we are remodelers for kitchen, bath, and general construction. We operate a fleet of shop-at-home vans that have all the flooring-type products, hardwood flooring, laminate flooring, tiles, stone, what have you. So we're able to come out first with products in our vehicles and take a look at the setting, how the colors will work, and then to be able to come up with some options and ideas for you. If that's not good enough, we have a large distribution center that we inventory product and have a nice display area.
Hi, Jackie Skelton from JR World Travel here. If you travel, you need a licensed professional travel consultant, not a computer. Your licensed professional consultant can get you more for your time and your money. Value for your money and experience, not marketing salesmanship. When you're sick, you call the doctor. When you need legal advice, you call an attorney. So the next time you want to go on any type of travel, call your licensed professional travel consultant who actually represents you. We specialise in group travel, family reunions, weddings, to escorting large groups or making special arrangements for the disabled. Please call 844-249-0190. We are a full-service travel consultancy offering worldwide concierge service. Air, land, sea, rivers, resorts, locally, nationally and internationally. Remember that number, 844-249-0190.
everyone, back to the That Business Show 2.0, the Real Estate Edition. I'm your host, Jamie Maloney, and again, new episodes of this program air every Thursday at 7 a.m. for the first time over on TampaBayRadio.com. You can also catch them on demand on iTunes and on our YouTube channel. Simply go to thatyoutubechannel.com to find all of the Real Estate Edition episodes, as well as all editions of That Business Show. We're here Monday through Friday, talking with many different business owners and professionals and community leaders about their business and what makes them tick. And we'd love to hear from you too, if you're a regular listener of the program, or even finding the program on the on an airwave or on a channel for the first time. Go to tbsinterview.com and you can fill out the request form. And it's a great experience here on the program. Not only do you get 20 minutes or so of an interview with me to talk about your business, but you're going to be left with a nice high definition quality video that you could use over and over again for a video marketing piece for your business. Simply embed that onto your site off of the YouTube upload. We can also send you the actual file to edit and do whatever you would like with the file. But again, a nice 20-minute video of featuring simply your business in high definition along with the audio. So if you're a podcaster, you can also use it as a podcast episode. Again, visit tbsinterview.com. So we're talking about real estate here. This is the real estate edition of the program. I myself, a realtor, coming up on 10 years with Coldwell Banker, and would love to help you out with your real estate needs. Simply visit, again, jamiemaloney.com to learn more about my real estate business. Also, thathomevaluation.com will get you a free home valuation no matter where you are in the country, or thathomesearch.com if you're looking to purchase a home. So we're looking at the single-family homes in Hillsborough County and seeing what's going on in the numbers. And so at the 300,000 to 500,000 point there, we got about 1,150 homes available in our multiple listing service. And then 1,651 have closed here in the past 6 months. And right here is where you begin to see an uptick in the months of supply of inventory. While this may be a median price point for other major metros, it's not in Tampa Bay. $300,000 to $500,000 is considered a move-up buyer home in Tampa Bay. I was talking with a broker a couple of shows ago in Seattle, and I asked him what the median price point of their homes were in Seattle, and he was like $550,000. And I said, it must be nice to work in Seattle and the commission checks that you get, because commission is based on the price of the home. Median price point in Tampa Bay, again, being around $150,000, which is an uptick over the last couple of years, because we were down around lower 100s to about 120 coming off of 2012, and values losing about 50% of their value after that tremendous fall from their peaks in 2006. And so after that, you can see average days on market around 70. A good days on the market, is really, under 30. I've talked about on the program before, what it takes to get a home sold and time on the marketplace. And, a lot of people will tell you it takes 6 months to sell your home. And that is the industry standard, but that's because so many people overprice their home. But if you price your home properly, you're going to get more for your home than you will 6 months down the road. And the main reason for that is sense of urgency. When the home is on the market in excess of 50, 100, 200 days and even more, then buyers are going to suspect that the price of the property is too high, or there's condition problems with the home, and it's going to be difficult to get offers at the price that you want. They're going to begin attacking the property much lower. Now, the exception to that are specialty properties, the high-end properties in our markets, things above $600,000, 700,000. If you're in New York City, Miami, LA, the $1 million homes, obviously those take different types of marketing efforts, and will take 6 months or more maybe to get a 2, 3, 4, $10 million sale. Those are not the types of homes that I'm talking about. In our marketplace, though, we have very standard homes, especially for up to $300,000-$400,000. The subdivisions dominate the Tampa Bay marketplace, and the homes are very conforming to one another. And so once a price point is set in a neighborhood, then the other homes are going to follow suit. And I know you've put in a kitchen or you've put in new wood flooring, and you think that that $10,000 investment adds $50,000 in value, but that's not the case. In our marketplace, the cost of the repairs is rarely recaptured in the return on sale. So don't go out there doing a bunch of repairs on your property in Tampa Bay and putting on the home on the marketplace thinking that those repairs are going to be captured in the sales price of the property. About the only exception to that is if the home is in dingy, dirty condition and it needs paint and carpet. I would always recommend new paint and carpet. But if you're going to invest a lot of money into an upgraded kitchen or baths or put on a new roof, things of that nature, you're going to unfortunately not see a return on investment. If you are going to do something of that, the best thing to probably do is a kitchen. Kitchens are the primary selling point of the home, but still you're going to probably lose a substantial amount of that money in the sale of the property in our marketplace. Now, I can't speak for other markets, but you can even see these numbers validated on Zillow. Zillow will break down the cost of a repair for a particular home, what it would add to value, and then what you would expect to return in the sale. And so Zillow even justifies a lot of what I'm saying, and I see it over and over again in our marketplace. Now, the people who make money in rehabs and investments, they make their money, because they purchase the homes so low. You're asking, what about these people who go out there and buy homes, fix them up, and resell them at a profit? They've got to get those properties at a very low price compared to actual fair market value to make the numbers work. And they're really underbidding these properties. It's very difficult right now to even get properties for fix and flip use. Tampa Bay is one of the best markets for that if you can find the homes. But again, our low supply of inventory is making that very difficult. Some hot markets in Tampa Bay, again, being Tampa Heights, Seminole Heights, anything near downtown. A lot of development going on up in the north and the southeastern parts of Hillsborough County. But again, coming back to the repairs on a property, they get those properties very low and they spend a lot of their time making a lot of offers, because as many investors have said to me, you make your money on the buy. That's when you make your money. If you've purchased a property at too high of a price point, then you're going to be upside down, you're going to be underwater throughout the entire process, and then you're going to be struggling to recapture what you put into the property on the sale. So you make your money on the buy, and that's the investor side of the business. But coming back to the traditional homeowner with regard to putting money into a property to fix it up, you don't see the return. You don't see that return on investment that you would see like from an investor who picks up a property at a much lower price. So clean up the property, fresh paint if it's dingy, if the carpet's in bad shape, do that and clean up the home. Make sure the home is properly staged or positioned for sale, because that'll definitely attract a good offer on a property. You see a lot of homes that are cluttered, and you got to declutter the house. You also got to depersonalize the home. That's a great point too. I want to bring up right here: depersonalization of the home. So take the family photos and the pictures of the kids and put those away while the home is on the marketplace, because you want the buyers to come into the home and think of the home as theirs. You don't want the buyers to come into the home thinking, man, I'm walking into this person's home, I feel uncomfortable, let's get out of here. And so get those personalized things, put in the closet, put in the drawers for the time being. Recommend a stager of some sort come into the home and help you get the home in a position to sell with your interior belongings. If you have a vacant home, staging works very well, but we don't see staging in the Tampa Bay market until you get about $500,000 and up. The investment is quite costly, and it doesn't usually work too much on homes under $100,000 or $500,000 in the marketplace. But when you get above $500,000, staging is very effective. Staging can cost anywhere from $2,000 to upwards of $20,000, $30,000. Depending on what you do in the home size and how much stuff that you put in it, because you have so much stuff and you're renting it from the staging company, and it could be several months before the home is sold. So that bill can add up, and it can add up pretty quickly. So again, just talking about ways to get your home sold quickly, and kind of pulling from this average days on market. And again, as I was talking about leading into this, properly positioning your home in terms of price at the beginning will maximize the sale price for your home, because at any given point in a sale of a property or in the life cycle of the sale of the home, when you list the property, there exists on the marketplace a pool of buyers ready, willing, and able to buy a home at that particular point. They've been looking for the last 6 months to a year, which is average for a buyer looking for a home. And they know when your property comes on the marketplace, whether it's too high or it's too low or it's priced just right. So if it's too low or priced just right, they're going to attack it, and they're going to give you offers immediately. And that's when you want to use the sense of urgency to get the maximum amount of price for your home. If you let that home sit for 1, 2, 3, 4 months down the road, those buyers are no longer, you're going to be dealing with a lot of entry-level buyers into the marketplace. And when I say entry-level, I mean buyers who are just beginning to look, and they're not going to be making offers. And that market of buyers that are ready, willing, and able to buy at that particular time is going to begin to shrink on you, because your home is now going to become aged. And those buyers that are, again, ready, willing, and able to buy at that moment are going to say, I've already looked at that home, made an offer, or, it's overpriced, and it's going to get aged, and the price is going to begin getting driven down. And I can say this from 1,600 sales. My specialty being bank-owned properties, so I've seen the banks want to move the properties very quickly. And so different clients have different pricing structures. Some of them will overprice and they sit. Some of them price undervalued to get multiple offers, and some try to price it at a fair market value to move quickly. But I've seen time and time again the clients that overprice their properties, have the homes sit and get driven down in values, and the ones who price the properties at or under fair market value get the price driven up because they get multiple offers, and the realtor can use sense of urgency. You can't use sense of urgency when you're at 100, 200 days on the marketplace. It's very hard to convince a buyer that you got a lot of interest in this home when it's been sitting there for months on end. So again, price your home at or maybe just under fair market value when you get the home first listed, and then drive up the price with multiple offers. That is the best pricing strategy that you can use right now in the Tampa Bay marketplace. Also comes into play because of the low inventory. So again, talk with a realtor that knows what they're doing when they sell a home. I can definitely help you out with that. Visit thathomevaluation.com, and I can help you get a free home valuation and begin talking to you about getting your home sold. And learn more about me at jamiemaloney.com, and also more about this program, tampabayradio.com. I'm going to take another break, but coming back from the break again, we'll continue the analysis of the numbers, and also take a look at what's going on in a couple of the other surrounding counties. On That Business Show 2.0, I'm your host, Jamie Maloney, and you're listening to the Real Estate Edition, and we'll be back in a moment.
Hi, welcome to Yeagers. We just want to take a minute and show you what we're all about. At Yeagers, our primary business is hardwood flooring, although we are remodelers for kitchen, bath, and general construction. We operate a fleet of shop-at-home vans that have all the flooring type products: hardwood flooring, laminate flooring, tiles, stone, what have you. So we're able to come out first with products in our vehicles and take a look at the setting, how the colors will work, and then to be able to come up with some options and ideas for you. If that's not good enough, we have a large distribution center that we inventory product and have a nice display area.
Hey everyone, Jamie Maloney here, back here, host of the Real Estate Edition of That Business Show 2.0, where business becomes show business. Currently taking a look at the numbers and what's going on in Hillsborough County and the surrounding counties in terms of the numbers on this program. Each month we pull the numbers and take a look at them statistically. And so I want to take a look at the condominiums now, the condos in the Hillsborough County marketplace. So this is a different spreadsheet. At the top you'll see condominium analysis for Hillsborough County. And so up to $150,000 you'll see 276 homes currently available, and then 1,102 have sold here in the last 6 months. And that's currently giving us a months of supply of 1.5 and average days on market in at 37. At the price point of $150,000 to $300,000, we've got 403 homes available for sale in our multiple listing service, and 990 have sold over the past 6 months. And then we're at 2.4 months of supply of inventory. When you get above $500,000, you don't see a lot of homes that are condominiums in the Tampa Bay marketplace. As you can see, we're at 132, and then it drops off very quickly in terms of what is available for sale at that price point. And then the prices or the homes that have sold, again, very minimal. Now, down here, the short sales and the foreclosures, the distressed inventory, very much in line with what's going on in the single-family home market. Short sales as a percentage of available inventory for condominiums in Hillsborough County coming in at 2.47%, and short sales as a percentage of the closed sales coming in at 2.14%. REOs as a percentage of available inventory in at 3.7%. Foreclosures as a percentage of closed sales coming in at 6.54%. And so why is condominiums, a little bit different than the single family homes? What's different about a condo? Some of you may be asking, what is a condominium? So in short, condominium is a building. It's a shared ownership, and it's an attached a structure whereby all the rooms or all the different homes are connected, and they have condominium associations that govern the body or govern the association, and they implement different rules and restrictions and dues. And so condominiums have a very have a high monthly fee associated with them to pay for the common areas and the maintenance of the association. Condo flipping here in Hillsborough County became very, very popular in 2004 and 2005, and I'm not really sure why. It kind of became the day trading business of the real estate market. Everybody was buying and flipping condominiums because condos are generally priced underneath what a single family home is. But then when you put in the HOA fee on top of that, they're not as great of a value as what people seem to think. But anyways, condominiums were all the rave, and I remember some of the articles that were written and some of the investors who were bragging about the most recent condo flip that they had done. Real estate brokerages are spinning off condominium only divisions. Coldwell Banker did that too. They had the condo store, I think is what it was called back then, that only dealt with condominiums. And so condominiums crashed very hard, and that really took a toll on a lot of the developments, and a lot of the developments are still trying to recover. And so it's very important when you purchase a condominium to look at the financials of the association. I was by default a president of one a couple of years ago. That was only because of the 48 units, only 2 or 3 people ever came to the meetings, and the existing board had fallen apart, and they were running for cover, getting out of their units. And so I showed up to a meeting, and I was made president by default, and there was nothing we could do. Out of 48 units, only about 20 people were paying, and the building was falling apart, and the roofs needed replaced. The electrical was outdated. $20,000 was owed to the city of Tampa utility company. It was in dire straits, and there was really nothing that we could do. So it's very important that you know what the financial situation of the condominium is, and many of them right now are still in distressed shape. Because what I fortunately was able to get out of my 2 units. It cost me money, and I had to bring money to the table to get out of them. But I would rather have done that than what I was fearing would eventually happen, and that is condemnation of the building. And you ask, well, you got all that debt associated with the building. What do you do? What's the end game? What's the result? And what was happening is a lot of the development was rented. A lot of it was tenant controlled. And so tenants will pick up the phone and call the city or call the county very quickly and complain about, issues with plumbing, issues with electrical, leaking roofs. And if they go, and there's certain parts of the building are responsibilities of the association. And so if you've got a leaking roof in your unit, the homeowner is not responsible. The association is responsible, depending on the development, but usually the roofs are covered by the association. You have to look at the different bylaws to know for certain what is covered and what is not covered. And so it was getting in a position where each owner was having to pay for their units, and to rectify the entire budget and make it to where there were adequate income to cover all the costs of the association and to cover the reserves, it was going to have to be about $900 a month on a unit that, in my situation, was worth $20,000. And so I was able to fortunately get out of it and run for the hills. I don't know what's going on with it now, but I was afraid of, again, the state coming in and condemning the building. And that's what happens with condominiums that fall apart. The state or the county or the city or some entity comes in, they acquire or they take control of the property. They'll go in there and they will do the required repairs to bring the building up to, code, up to, a healthy and safe state. And then they're going to bill each of the homeowners the cost of the repairs divided. So if there's 48 units and it was a couple $1 million, they'll divide that number by 48 and they'll assess each unit with that money. They'll give you a certain amount of time to pay, and if you can't pay, they foreclose. And basically, in that situation, everybody would get foreclosed on because nobody's going to step up and be able to pay that bill. And so that's how you hit reset on a building. They condemn the building, the state comes in, fixes the building, assesses the units, says, here, pay us now what you owe us. They can't pay, they foreclose, they take ownership of the building, and then they'll bring in a trustee to bring in a new board or a new investor and get the building back on track. And so that was what I was ultimately scared of happening with the development that I was involved in. And I can remember, in 2005 when I purchased the property, it was $86,000, a 2-2 condo, 860 square feet. I purchased it because I had just sold a home in Fishhawk and had made a decent amount of money because that was the height of the market. And so that was good for me as a seller, but it was bad for me as a buyer. But I was going back to USF, and it was right across the street from the university. And so I purchased it and moved into it. And again, this was during that condo flipping craze. And I remember looking in the paper and seeing $86,000 and thinking, wow, that's a good price right there. I need to move on that. And all of them did move pretty quickly. They all sold between about $75,000 and $85,000, $90,000. And the development had been developed by a developer, fixed up all the units, had nice grass put down, and it was a nice little community for about the first year. But in 2006, as the market began to turn, investors began running for the hills. They couldn't get out of the condominiums, and the value of those units ended up falling all the way down to now about $15,000 is what the value of them is. A friend of mine who let his unit go into foreclosure, I picked up that unit and flipped it, made about $7,000 on that, but I bought that for like $20,000, and I bought mine for $86,000. Same exact unit, right next door to each other. That's how we knew each other, because we were, basically almost like roommates, being side by side on the condominium. But purchased another one for $15,000 and kept that as a rental. And so I had the 2 units in there, and I would eventually use the proceeds that I'd already put into the second unit to basically offset the mortgage that was owed on the first one, and I was able to get out of them with about $10,000 more out of my pocket. But I got about 2.5, 3 years of living out of the unit, and some rental costs to offset it. But nonetheless, I'd hate to know what I actually lost in terms of overall value on the development. And so condominiums are still struggling to recover in Hillsborough County. Some of them are doing great, some of them are not. So it's important to look at the financials of the development when you go in and buy a condominium. Request the financial statement, request the budget, maybe even attend a meeting, talk to the board, ask them what their feedback is on the association. Is it stable? Is it something that you're willing to put your money into? Because condominiums, it's almost like going into a business with a group of other people. That's kind of another way to look at it. You have 48 units, you have 100 units, you have 1,000 units, whatever the case. case may be, when you go into a condominium, you have shared ownership, and so everybody has to pitch in to maintain the business, and if they're not pitching in, guess who gets to pay for that? The other units. And the only way to offset the people who do not pay is to assess the unit owners that are paying. And condominiums will have the power of special assessments. Special assessment, like you'll see on a tax bill, it can happen by a taxing authority, the county or the city. Same thing happens with a condominium. If the board needs funds for a particular reason, they pass a special assessment. And the development that I was in, before I even became part of the board, we were getting hit with a couple of different special assessments, but it was because nobody was able to pay. And then all the plumbing pipes in the development had to be replaced. Something to be mindful of on homes that were built in the 70s, 60s, and 70s was this old, it was called Orangeburg piping. That was basically, if you know what felt paper is on a roof, it was basically rolled up felt paper that had a life of about 35, 40 years, and then it would begin to deteriorate. That has since been replaced, obviously, with PVC pipe. But that stuff had begun to deteriorate, and when that happens in a development or in a home, you got to dig up the pipes and replace them 100%. And so that was a very costly repair, and it's actually happened to me twice. It happened to me on a rental house as well. So just a tidbit of information. Be sure to check the age of the pipes. Get a plumbing inspection on top of your regular home inspection, because a home inspection is not going to be able to determine the age or the capacity of the plumbing pipes. So again, those are used mostly in the 70s, not in use anymore. But then when that stuff goes, it creates a mess. And so all that nice sod that we had put down in the development basically, was basically pulled up. So we've got one more segment. When we come back from the break, we'll cover the other counties' numbers, in the condos and the single-family home market on That Business Show 2.0, the Real Estate Edition. I'm your host, Jamie Maloney, and we'll be back in a moment.
Hi, welcome to Yeagers. We just want to take a minute and show you what we're all about. At Yeagers, our primary business is hardwood flooring, although we are remodelers for kitchen, bath, and general construction. We operate a fleet of shop-at-home vans that have all the flooring-type products, hardwood flooring, laminate flooring, tiles, stone, what have you. So we're able to come out first with products in our vehicles and take a look at the setting, how the colors will work, and then to be able to come up with some options and ideas for you. If that's not good enough, we have a large distribution center that we inventory product and have a nice display area.
Hi, Jackie Skelton from JR World Travel here. If you travel, you need a licensed professional travel consultant, not a computer. Your licensed professional consultant can get you more for your time and your money. Value for your money and experience, not marketing salesmanship. When you're sick, you call the doctor. When you need legal advice, you call an attorney. So the next time you want to go on any type of travel, call your licensed professional travel consultant who actually represents you. We specialise in group travel, family reunions, weddings, to escorting large groups or making special arrangements for the disabled. Please call 844-249-0190. We are a full-service travel consultancy offering worldwide concierge service. air, land, sea, rivers, resorts, locally, nationally and internationally. Remember that number, 844-249-0190.
And welcome back to the real estate edition of That Business Show 2.0. I am your host, Jamie Maloney. And again, this show airs each weekday at, or I should say, 7 a.m. on Thursdays, in addition to the weekdays that we air the regular That Business Show with all the different entrepreneurs. And so this edition focuses on my business, which is real estate. And again, I'd like to be your resource for buying or selling real estate in the Tampa Bay region. And if you're listening to me across the country, we can help you out through our vast relocation and referral network. Simply hit me up a couple of different ways, thathomevaluation.com for a free home valuation, or thathomesearch.com, and we'll get you over somebody to help you looking for a home. And as always, you can learn more about me and the real estate side of my business at my website, jamiemaloney.com. So on today's program, we're looking at the numbers and kind of branching off into some varying topics, sort of what just pops into my head as we're talking. But let's take a look at single-family homes in Pinellas County. So I got that spreadsheet up there on the market, or I should say on the screen. Pinellas County being the borders the Gulf of Mexico there on the west coast. Misconception for people out of the area a lot of times is that Tampa is a beach community. It's not. We're on a bay, and there's no beachfront land in Tampa. Pinellas, though, on the other hand, is a very well built up county with a lot of beachfront communities all along the west coast. And Pinellas County, not a lot of new construction over there. It's a lot of older homes built up big in the 50s and 60s was when a lot of development was going on in Pinellas County. Hillsborough County, which is the home of Tampa Bay, still has a lot of rural area associated with it. Still a lot of land out there, at least in terms of a major metro area to build upon, and especially getting up into Pasco County, the northern area, which is the growth of the marketplace right now is in that northward direction. Pinellas County, nearly 100% built out, many cities over there, the ones that you may know if you're out of the area, St. Petersburg being over there, Clearwater, Pinellas Park, Tarpon Springs, Dunedin. Those are all Pinellas County cities in there. So that's what we're taking a look at here now in the analysis of the numbers. So over there, 100 homes up to $150,000, 210 homes currently on the marketplace. And in terms of homes that have sold in the last 6 months, 1,051, giving us or showing us that there's about 1.2 months of supply of inventory in that marketplace. Again, that median price point of the home really being around $150,000 to $200,000. Between $150,000 and $300,000, 938 homes available for sale in the multiple listing service, and 3,065 homes closed in the last 6 months. And a very dismal, again, 1.84 months of inventory. Coming over here, homes 300,000 to 400 or up to 500K, 682 homes and 1,145 homes have sold in the past 6 months, with 3.57 months of supply of inventory. Now you'll see over here in Pinellas County, when you get above $500,000, that we do have a considerable amount of homes available, and that's due in large part to the waterfront communities that are in Pinellas County and the downtown St. Petersburg area, which has some very nice high-end historic homes. Pinellas County is a very up-and-coming downtown right now. It's a very vibrant youth community, very well known for an arts district, or the arts district that's over there. And so a lot of development happening, or I should say revitalization in the downtown community over in St. Petersburg. St. Petersburg downtown definitely dwarfing the downtown community that the city of Tampa has, for instance. People that have been to Tampa will tell you that after 5 p.m., downtown Tampa pretty much closes down. There's not a lot down there. There's not a nightlife. There's not a central attraction that gets people to downtown. Now, that may be changing here in the coming years if the Tampa Bay Rays move their stadium. Right now, their stadium is in the downtown St. Petersburg area, but if they do come across the bay to downtown Tampa or somewhere in Tampa, various locations being discussed, that will definitely be a rebirth of the community, because a baseball stadium does wonders for a downtown community. A great example of that is Petco Park out in San Diego. what it did for the downtown San Diego community and others as well. So Pinellas County here looking again above $750,000 up to $2.5 million. A considerable amount of homes in terms of what's actually selling on the marketplace in that part of the curve. Months of supply of inventory then starts to get in the healthy region there between 500 and about $1 million, and then gets up into the upper, a year or 2 or 3 years months of inventory as you get into the higher price points. Now, short sales, the distressed inventory as a percentage of available inventory, less than 1% in Pinellas County. Not a lot of short sales, so that tells us that Pinellas County has rebounded much better than Hillsborough County, a much more dense community, much more built-out community, not as much short sales over there. Also because a lot of the distressed properties were in the newer communities versus the older communities such as Pinellas County. So a big reason why you don't see a lot of short sales on the marketplace. Short sales mostly impacted the homes built 1990 and newer in the subdivisions in our communities. Short sales is a percentage of closed sales, just coming in above 2%. And then REOs as a percentage of available inventory at 2%, and then just under 7% at 6.98% when we're talking about REOs as a percentage of the closed sales. Now, what's on the marketplace? Short sales, there's 25 available in the market in Pinellas County, 58 foreclosures for sale in Pinellas County. Short sales that have sold in the last 6 months, 118 and 410 foreclosures have sold on in the last 6 months, which with an average days on market of 52 for the foreclosures and 90 for the short sales. Again, short sales usually taking more time to sell, but 90 days on the market there, not too bad for a short sale. So let's take a look at some of the other surrounding counties in Tampa Bay. Pasco County being just north of Pinellas and Hillsborough, a much more rural area, but the southern end of Pasco County is where the development of Tampa is headed. So if you're looking to move into Tampa Bay, Pasco County is an excellent place to move into right now for a couple of reasons. It is, again, where the development of the city is heading, and so values will continue to increase over the long term, the next 5 to 10 years. It also has a lower tax base by about $1,000 per year in Pasco County. Hillsborough County has a much higher tax base. It also has cheaper insurance up there. Hillsborough County has some of the highest insurance rates, highest wind rates in the states, and so that adds about another $1,000 a month, or I should say $1,000 a year to the homeowner bill versus a lot of areas. Typical insurance maybe $500 a year for a typical home across the country. In Hillsborough, it's about $1,500, and so that was due in large part to the hurricanes that came through here in 2004. I should say the tropical storms in terms of Tampa Bay, with the hurricanes hit down south of us. But after that year, insurance rates were never the same. They jumped because all the insurers fled the marketplace, leading to the introduction of Citizens, the state-funded government solution, because they were the only insurer in the state at that time. Since then, many insurers have come back into the marketplace, but insurance rates continue to remain high. It's just one of the things, once prices come up, they don't come back down for some reason. And with the increasing competition, it should be coming back down to where it was, but it's not. Our values have come up. Interest rates remain low and they move, but the insurance rates do not. So expect to spend about $1,500 a month, or I should say per year, in insurance in Hillsborough County versus $500 in surrounding counties. And that's, of course, also if you're outside of a flood zone. Be mindful when you're purchasing a property. Look for flood zone X. That is the floodplain that has in excess of 100 years before you see a devastating flood. If you're in flood zones A or AE, those are going to require flood insurance and add another few $1,000s a year to your homeowner bill. So let's take a look at the numbers in Pasco County. Up to $150,000, 409 homes available for sale. Up to $150,000 closed in the past 6 months, just over 1,300, with 1.87 months of inventory on the market. 150,000 to 300,000, we got 937 homes available for sale, with 1,898 selling in the past 6 months. And that shows us 2.96 months of inventory in that price point. 300,000 to 500,000, 633 homes available for sale. 650 have sold in that price point in the past 6 months, and that's 5.84 months of supply of inventory in that area. What you get above $750,000, not too much up there in Pasco County. Again, a much cheaper community, much more rural, more land associated with the properties up there, and just a cheaper location overall to live in. Great alternative to living, again, in the Tampa Bay major metro area. Short distance, much cheaper costs. Distressed inventory, short sales is a percentage of available inventory coming in at just over 2%. Short sales is a percentage of closed sales, 2.57%. Foreclosures as a percentage of available inventory, 3.93%. REOs as a percentage of closed sales, 10.46%. And short sales on the market right now in Pasco County numbering 44. And then there's 85 foreclosures on the market, and 102 short sales have sold over the last 6 months, and 415 foreclosures have sold over the last 6 months. So again, some analysis on what's going on in the marketplace. I put these out each and every month. If you'd like a copy of that, simply reach out to me. Jamie at TampaBayRadio.com is my email address. Happy to send that over to you. Again, Jamie at TampaBayRadio.com. And if I can, again, help you in any way buying or selling real estate, please contact me. Free home valuation available by visiting thathomevaluation.com. or go to thathomesearch.com if you're looking to purchase a home, and find out more about me and my real estate business at jamiemaloney.com, and more on this program at tampabayradio.com. And be sure to head over to my Facebook page, which we are developing, Jamie Maloney Real Estate, and be sure to like that. All the real estate shows are put on that page as well. So again, this show airs each Thursday morning at 7 a.m. and then on demand on iTunes and YouTube, in addition to the other shows that air 5 days a week, talking to different business owners and entrepreneurs. And we'd like to hear your story too. If you're an entrepreneur, business owner, or leader, head to tbsinterview.com for more information. You've been listening to the all-new That Business Show 2.0, the Real Estate Edition. I'm your host, Jamie Maloney. Have a great day, everybody.